As you see Cullen and Fred coming in, talk us what's going on in your head.
Yeah, I mean, so basically during this whole camp, I mean, we had a lot of downtime, as you know, when you're a part of these camps. You're sitting in hotel rooms and you're sitting in the Olympic Village. You're not trying to do much. You're practicing, but then you're relaxing and resting. So I laid in bed a lot and kind of listened to music, but then I'd also close my eyes and just, I'm not really a visualizer type where I think about every little particular detail of everything, but more of the overall picture. So I thought about the overall picture a lot. And when I'm sitting there, laying there, closing my eyes, I just think about myself being in the lead, jumping in the water, holding them off, winning the gold medal. And every once in a while, really, I think I was behind and I would just shut it off in my head. So I never really pushed through that in my head. It was just a thought. And I was like, nope, I'm not thinking about that anymore. So now as I'm standing there on the blocks, being behind, obviously I can't shut it off in my head. So the first thing I can think is I need to have the best relay start of my life. And through the course of my career, I was one of those guys where I had really good relay starts, but really safe relay starts. So I was very consistent at like the 0.15 relay takeoff exchange rate, which that's good. It's safe. You're not going to disqualify anybody. And at this particular moment, as I'm thinking these thoughts, the crowd's going crazy. I have my teammates behind me yelling at me. I actually had so much adrenaline going. I jumped in the water and thought, oh no, I just left early and blew this for Team USA. And for me, I was a 0.03 on that relay exchange, which is really, really close. But as I said, being a 0.15 my whole 0.15 my whole career, that's over a tenth of a second different than what I'm used to. So I felt like I disqualified.
And it's funny to say that, 0.03 to 0.15, it seems like absolutely nothing. But to us, the people that do it, I mean, it's a world of difference between that 1/10 of a second feels like a world of difference.
Yeah, no, and it did. And I was fortunate enough that I've had a lot of experiences in my career, whether it was at the local meet or the nationals or the world championships or whatever, that anytime that something like this would pop into my head, I learned I had to talk it over. And I started thinking about other things, got that horrible thought out of my head about that relay exchange, and then just started focusing on that first lap.
I mean, you've talked about this numerous occasions. I'm sure many people have heard the speech, but I mean, I talked to Yannick Agnel about his 200 freestyle win in 2012, and he told me that at some point he just stopped thinking, because a piano player doesn't think about the keys that they're about to play next. They just go into an automatic. And was there a period during this race where you kind of just clicked into automatic?
So funny, because typically through my career, that's where I go. It's like, you hear about automatic pilot, or when they're, a basketball player makes 10 threes in a row and they're in the zone, right? That's kind of what all my best swims, I'm in the zone or I'm on automatic pilot. And I finish and I think, what just happened, right? But for some reason, because it started with these thoughts about the start, the whole race, I was thinking about different things. And as I swam that first lap, Bernard's on my left, I breathed to my right, and I kept thinking about, should I take a look? Can I see where he is? But I didn't do it because I knew that would slow me down. And as I got to the turn, I flipped, I pushed off, and I realized that he increased his lead on me. So then I'm thinking, there's no way. This guy's the world record holder. I'm not going to catch him. And then talking those thoughts over, positive again, and feel really good. I feel really strong. I mean, just continue to swim my own race. And now I'm breathing at him. So I get to a hip and I can see myself catching up, and I'm thinking about these thoughts of catching up, and then it gets to the end and everything's just thrown out. It's just pure will at that point. And I actually felt this extra surge of adrenaline, kind of like when you're standing on those blocks that I talked about and you got this boost. And I felt that at the end of my race, which is really unusual. I've never felt anything like that before. And a lot of people will say, wow, you sped up at the end of that race. But as you know, and you watched it, I wasn't speeding up. I was just lucky enough that Bernard was slowing down, and I was able to maintain my stroke and my speed as close to I could as possible.